Kelli, welcome to the cave. Thank you for joining me today.
Hey, thanks so much for having me in the cave.
I know we were supposed to record a few weeks ago, but I had some issues on my end. But glad we're finally here to do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk a little bit about your career. Of course, a few weeks ago, recently had Animal Control that premiered on Fox. It's a funny show so far from what I've seen.
Yeah, it's a good one. I'm really digging it and I'm really excited about it.
So we'll jump into the show in a few minutes, but before we do that, let's get to know a little bit more about you, about Kelli. I was doing some research on you and everything. Was acting always the goal? Because I saw you were doing like improv at first.
Yeah, for when I started doing improv, I did it the same time I started doing musical theater. So I knew I liked to be on a stage and I like to perform. Uh, and I think the end goal was always to be an actor. I don't know, like when I brought it up with my parents when I was younger, they were like, please no. Please no. But I kept going and I kept loving it so much. And I did improv all throughout high school and throughout university, and I still do it now. So I balance the two, as well as musical theater if I can do it.
Mm. How did you fall in love with the industry? What made you like? What made you go for it?
I think that at its core, I am a massive fan. Like I'm like a big TV head. Uh, I love storytelling. I love creating, and I just I always wanted to be a part of it, and so luckily I've been able to be a part of it. It's not
Mm.
an easy career.
Right. And when you hear improv, also, you a lot of people think like, oh, your goal is like SNL or anything like that. Was that always like on your mind too, like comedy improv?
Yeah, for sure. I think for a long time I was like, that's it, I'm going to be on SNL. And then I never put a package together or auditioned. So that's on me. But I
It's
was
not too
able to.
late.
It is not too late. You're right. But I was like able to audition as much as I can in Vancouver. I'm Canadian, so uh, that makes it just like a little step harder to get into America. So this show,
Mm.
Animal Control, is kind of my big step into American television.
Okay. What were some of the shows or movies that you grew up watching that made you also fall in love with entertainment?
Oh, probably I was like a teenager when 30 Rock was out, and just seeing that
Okay.
whole behind the stage,
Yeah.
uh look into TV making, and a lot of like really fun character work. Like I'm a big uh like Tracy Morgan fan and a big Jane
Mm.
Krakowski fan. So like I love that big weird character moment.
You mentioned a big TV head. What's Kelli binging these days?
Oh, great question. The Last of Us, of course. But I was really into The White Lotus this year. Um, I'm looking for a new show. The last season of Succession is coming, and I'm very excited for that. Uh, oh God, I over the pandemic I got really into The Real Housewives. So
That's because there was
sometimes
nothing else to watch. Everything froze
yeah,
for a while.
I watch a lot of like reality trash TV. I needed instant escape.
Right. And the
Yeah.
great thing about now is we have so many like streaming platforms and everything. There's never a time where you don't know what to watch. You could always find something new to watch.
Oh, totally. Totally. I love it.
And there's a lot more work for you guys out there too. You can bounce
Yeah.
from place to place.
Yeah, I've worked on many different networks. I've been on Netflix a couple times. I've done like a children's series for Netflix, and I hope to tackle them all someday.
Yeah. What is your ultimate goal? What are you hoping you get your hands on?
Oh boy, I don't know. There's just so many interesting, cool people I'd love to work with someday. I am a huge Mike White fan, so I'd love to work with him someday. Um, and who knows, maybe I get that package together and I do end up on Saturday Night Live
Okay.
someday.
Did I read somewhere you do you've done voiceover work also?
Yeah, yeah, I've been on My Little Pony a couple times, and something else, but I don't know if I could say yet.
So would you continue on with that also if you can?
Yeah, I love it. It's the most fun job ever, and don't have to look good, and you get to have fun. I've been working with some really cool directors. Yeah, big voiceover fan.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's jump right into Animal Control. Like I mentioned earlier, the first few episodes that I've seen, it's been great. What do you it premiered on Fox a few weeks ago, like you said. How funny is it working on the show, first of all?
It's amazing. It's so good. Everybody is so smart and funny and interesting, and everybody's got this like different idea. And the second you hear it, you're like, "Oh yeah, would never think of that." The whole cast is amazing, and I don't know. I laughed a whole bunch. There's probably like hours of extra footage of other added jokes that we would like try out and see what would make the cut.
How do you describe this show to people?
It's like it's an office sitcom, um, but with the fabulous introduction of animals and kind of the differences, but the similarities that we have between man and animal, which is really, really, really funny.
So we see you as Dolores on the show. Can you tell us a little about your audition? Do you remember your audition?
Yeah, I auditioned via Zoom because of the way of the world.
Mm.
And I remember it was like my last audition. I had like 5 auditions in a row in like a weekend, all for like kind of bigger things. So a lot of memorization. And it was my last one, and I was really tired. But I was really excited for it too. So I didn't want to like screw anything up. But I think that like exhaustion that was in my body really helped play up that exhaustion that Dolores has
Yeah.
taking care of this whole office. And then from there, I think a week or so later, I was put on hold, and then I got to meet Bob, and then now we're here.
What was the description you were given for Dolores?
I think it was like office. Did they say wet blanket? um, they basically said she was like a rule follower. Um, and there was like a different direction that they were maybe going to go in with her, but I don't think that's happening anymore. Yeah,
Was it easy to connect with this character?
I think so. I've been a receptionist at 2 different places in my in between acting jobs time of my life. So I was easily able to drop into it. Plus, one of the last jobs I did, I played a receptionist on another television show. So I love to sit on the
Yeah.
job.
So you didn't have any challenges playing this character?
Um, she's like a little bit more straightforward than I am as a person. I'm kind of like, I want everybody to get along. And she's like, my way or the highway, which I
I can tell
am
that.
not. Yeah,
Do you think she comes off a little mean sometimes too to people?
I think so. I don't think she means it though. I
Yeah.
really don't think she means it. I think she's just like socially maybe a little unaware.
What do you love about this character?
I love how confident she is. And I love that there are different sides to her that you kind of start to get to know in further episodes. And uh, I love she's just a kind of a funny, weird woman.
Is there anything you would change about her if you could? If they handed you a piece of paper and a pencil and said change something
Oh.
about her?
I'd like her to have like maybe a friend, like maybe somebody to be a confidant.
Mm.
We'll see.
How many episodes are we expecting this season?
There are 12 episodes a season.
So can you tease us anything about your characters? Like, are we going to see a bigger like story behind your character also?
Yeah, like the one that's coming out tonight. And then next week you see the fallout of what happens this week. You get to see maybe a little bit behind the scenes Dolores, a little bit at home Dolores.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
guess we'll have to find out. Now, what's working with the cast and everything? You got some great cast members, like Joel was one of them and everything. Like, how do you describe that chemistry between all of you?
Oh, really, really great. It was a very like friendly, fun group of people. And as the like easy punching bag character, I never felt like I was actually being attacked. Cause like there's days where like probably Ravi was just like yelling at Dolores. And then after he'd be like, hey man, like wanna go to the hockey game?
That's awesome. What's been
Yeah.
your favorite moment in the series so far that you can tell us about?
Um there's like a there will be like a big party scene that I really had a lot of fun at. I really loved getting to know all of the actors in general. There was like a day where we're filming outside and it's pouring rain, and uh in the like little green room tent, Alvina August and I were just sitting there for like hours and chatting, and I had a really lovely time getting to know her more and more.
How does it feel to be around all those animals too?
Amazing. I wish I got to be around more. Because I'm not an animal control officer, I only got to see mostly domestic animals. Um, but I loved it. There's a day where there was a whole bunch of kittens that Vella and I call the best day ever. It was kitten day, and I'm a cat owner, a cat lover, so loved that.
Awesome. So you mentioned there's 12 episodes. Have you finished filming the first season?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
finished filming about like a month ago now. Yeah.
What's been like the fan reaction of people you've talked to about the show?
I think it's generally very positive. People are really excited. I love that people like Dolores. I was worried that she was going to be like hated for being, bossy, but I think that character type is still very funny. Um, yeah, genuinely very, like, very, very good.
Awesome. So what's next for you now? Any other projects you're allowed to tell us about that you're coming out or you're gonna work on?
Mostly, just yeah, there's like yeah, I have something coming out eventually. That's the voiceover job. And hoping for a season two.
What's the word so far? Have you heard anything? Any
Not
positive
a
things on that?
not a thing, but I did see that we broke some record for most views like post premiere
Yeah,
uh for Fox. So that was really great.
that's awesome. Kelly, now let's end this by like how can the listeners and viewers now find you on social media to keep up with you for news for season 2 and future projects?
For sure. I'm on Twitter at Kelli Ogmundson and I'm on Instagram at Kelli Ogs.
Kelly, this was great. Thank you for giving me a few minutes today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This has been great.